Is spending 11.5 million on this right center back / right back worth it if we can't find any other right backs? Is it Patrick? Yay, let's figure it out. Hello, my friends, welcome in. Yes, we have put in an offer for 11.5 million for Lazio player Patrick. Sorry. Look at those mentals. Goodness me. He's really a right center back. Media description, experienced center back instead of a right back. But he might do for 3 seasons. We're kind of having to patchwork this. I am going to go over the end of season awards, and then we'll come back to transfers and all that kind of stuff. But I want to give you a heads up on that. As well as I may start doing something a little different with the end screen. I'm not sure. Because watch time is an important thing with YouTube these days, and obviously your watch time plummets in the last 20 seconds, but you kind of have to have an end screen, so I'm really not sure what to do there. So, yeah, let's go do the end of season awards. All right, my friends, it's the end of season review. We had some people saying that Guardiola deserved the signing of the season, which I think is, I don't know, just because you got the winning goal in the DFB Pokal final to beat your rivals. I don't know. All right, the transfers in, my friends. I like this because it reminds you, Ortega's got a €3 million release clause, which is probably not ideal for where we're at right now. Rodrigo gets the signing of the season, which feels a little cheap because it was already baked into his loan, right? Like, it wasn't an option, it just was baked in, but I guess it counts because he was an outstanding player. I also think, again, this is broken, that it's got all of these lined up as Schalke 2 players, which is not true. Marvin gets a B+ for 500 grand. Metza, I think, is better than a B-. 1.3 million for a player now worth 10 million, I think, is a steal. Xavi Simons, A+, because obviously we got him on a free. You know, Almoez gets an A-, which is probably a little generous. So, you know, it kind of is what it is. Transfers out, nothing really exciting. I mean, I feel like some of this is just like clearing out bad contracts. Season results, that trophy in the middle, that's very nice, isn't it? You just like to see that. It's just like, it makes you feel good. I like that it also defaults to the cup, even though we played, you know, this thing called the Bundesliga. Maybe we should spend some time focusing on that. 10th place, 40 points. Sounds great. And then you go, that's only 5 points from the relegation playoffs. It's not as secure as you'd like. I mean, let's be honest. It's essentially 8th to 16th is all right in there. So a couple results don't go your way, you are in trouble. Like, if we didn't start the season like this, that kind of puts into perspective for me. It's like, yay, but also, I'm not too sure about that. Biggest win, we beat Mainz 3-0. I'm not sure why that was the biggest win, but maybe it was because of the start of the season. Match to remember, 2-1 in the final. Yeah, I think that's fair. Goal of the season and a loss seems curious. Let's go take a look here at Mr. Oliver's goal here. In a loss, so 2-1. It must have been a worldie. Was it a set piece? Nope. I don't remember this at all. This is before he, you know, broke everything. Yeah, I think that's, I mean, maybe it's from, somebody's probably explained this to me in the comments. Maybe that's because it's like a low XG chance or something like that. Like a perfect finish. A perfect finish in a game that you lost in September. Sponsorship actually went down this season, which I thought was kind of pathetic because, you know, we got into the Bundesliga. But obviously everything else is up there. Metza, Zalazar, Ali, Simons, and Guardiola topping off the charts here with the kits. Kit sales. Yeah, I think that's fairly accurate, except Marvin was definitely not our starting. Maybe it's because, like, he got 23 total appearances and it's kind of been like a rotation up top where everyone's been terrible, so maybe that's it. And Kabak obviously no longer with us. Okay, so fans player of the season, Zalazar. Young player of the season, Zalazar. Signing of the season, Zalazar. He sweeps the awards. I think that is interesting. Wow. Most passes completed per 90 minutes, Steve Cook, probably center back to center back. Ortega with the highest average rating. As a goalkeeper, that's got to be worth an award, doesn't it? Most player of the match, Zalazar, 3. I don't think that's fair that he swept the awards, but, you know, competition award? No, we don't care about that. But, yeah. Not a bad season, eh? Moving us right forward. Yeah, let's just enjoy that. 975 grand a week with a transfer budget of 19.85 million. I feel like there's a reason the board have put us 200 million in debt. They're like, hey, I mean, I get it. We got promoted. We somehow made it to the Europa League by winning the DFB Pokal. I understand, but you think they'd be like, yum, 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 yum. Like, let's just eat up all that money. But instead, they're like, go spend some money. Yay! Like, oh, okay. Speaking of spending money, let's talk about that, my friends. You'll notice our committed spending is at 594, but we're currently spending 536. And our transfer budget originally was 19, and that says 15 because we moved some into the wage budget. Like, we're moving some stuff around, but we got 16 million still left in the bank, and I swear it's not for a lack of trying. Let me give you some other updates here, just random pieces of news I got to pull up on my other monitor. Zalazar also got the German Newcomer of the Year award. Marvin was in third. Fortuna Dusseldorf was relegated after being up 3-0 in the first leg of the playoff to St. Pauli. They end up losing 6-5 on aggregate. Unbelievable return by St. Pauli. They win 6-2 in the second leg to get promoted. Get in. Manchester United did the double. They won the Premier League and the Champions League. Yes, that happened. We've tried to spend money, my friends. We did another summer loan payment league. It made about, I think about 3.5 million. There was also, like, the last game was on like a Sunday, so like every Sunday is like, that's when your transfer income comes in and all that kind of stuff, so it kind of got thrown off. But essentially our bank balance at the time was 67.4 million. When we finished the third game, it was 70.8 million, so it's about 3.4 million in difference. That's because we invited Juve, Arsenal, and I think Heidenheim. So that's why our bank balance is doing pretty well. I do have a question though. We're allowed to lose, it's kind of like behind my shoulder here, you're allowed to lose like 5 million. It says we've currently made 257 million in the current period, and I don't understand. Currently the board project the club to make a profit of 287 million over this period. Somebody help me here. That doesn't seem accurate. Like, right? Like, profit, there's like a zero that we're missing here. We're not gonna make 290 million or 294 million in like, how are we okay from an FFP standpoint? I mean, okay, it's over a 36-month period, but we were like 200 million in debt. That's what I don't understand. Like, we're currently 151.8 in debt. Enjoy that. Yeah, that's a reduction. We're chipping away at it. Now we haven't spent our 16 million in transfer budget, so have we really chipped away at it? But I'm like, I guess I thought the other seasons would have been worse from a profit and loss standpoint because of us being that far in debt. That's just me, though. If I'm sure somebody can explain that to a way I can understand it in the comments, I would appreciate it. So back to this spending 11.5 million on a player. Ha ha ha. I don't want to. I cannot find a right back that's worth a darn. That's worth spending money on, I guess. So it's like, I guess go big or go home. So I'm going to take you through all the players we tried to sign. So Bosko Sutalo, Croatian, 23 years old, high prospect, like high potential ability, lovely. I don't think his crossing's great. You'll notice he's worth 21 to 30 million. Leon had him transfer listed, or let's see, well, they didn't get relegated. He sold for 3.5 million. I offered 4 million, and he goes to sorry. Atalanta had him listed, and he goes to Lyon for 3.5 when we offered 4 million. and he's now worth 20 million. Not gonna lie, this one stings. But it's not the only one. I did get a comment last episode that said, hey, you probably want to check out those teams that got relegated to see if they've got any like good players. I was already ahead of you. The one time I was ahead of the comments, Harry Sutar was on Fortuna Dusseldorf. Yeah, you'll notice he's with Dortmund now. Yep, we offered him for 3.7 million because he had a clause in a relegation release clause in his contract. And I mean, we offered him something like 40 grand a week, and he goes to Dortmund. Fair play for 57 grand. But I had dreams. 6'6" with 20 jumping reach and 13 heading, set piece maestro, and now he plays for Dortmund. Of course he does. Dortmund. We tried to sign Colin Dagba. He's at Leeds United on 84 grand a week. That one I go. Parma had him again listed. I can't remember. I think, yeah, they got relegated, and so they were offloading players. But I was like, 3 million. Again, he's 24, so he had. I really like the physicals. You know, he had room to grow with the technicals and mentals, but 3 million. But I mean, 84 grand? I think we offered him like half that, or maybe like 35 grand. It's like, no wonder he took Leeds offer. Goodness. Union Berlin also had Jerome Onguene, who also had a relegation release clause that we went after, and then he chose Mainz over us for like 20 grand, maybe 10, maybe 15 grand. I started getting kind of desperate, not gonna lie. We started offering some crazy wages, but 25, 6'2", really good mentals. Technicals need a little work, but physicals there looks lovely. Yeah, we missed on that one too. How many times are we gonna miss? Finally, my friends, we did get a player to sign, but he's a left back / center back, but I couldn't not, to be completely honest with you. Slovakian player, international, 30 caps with a goal. We got him for 1.7 million from Sparta Prague, because I think he like refused to sign a new deal. Was kind of the deal. They had him transfer listed, and a player finally picked us. He's 25. Now, he needed an important player contract. We're paying him 35 grand a week. As you can see, he's worth 10.5 to 11.5. Now, that's partly the contract, but like, I still think we got a really good value on this guy. So that now gives us Thomas, Nikolai, and David. Maybe that's how you do it with the accent on the A. I'm so sorry to Old Lady Plays, who is our local resident linguist. But he also can help cover the left back. I like that he's left, or a left center back, I should say. I like a left-footed left center back. So we've got like a little rotation going on there, and he signed for us. Doesn't solve our right back problem. You'll notice 5.9 in the DFL Super Cup. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. And yes, my friends, we did sign Joshua Zirkzee. I just think he's a good investment. I cannot not sign. The board wants to sign young players for profit, or at least they used to. So I'm kind of going with that. We got to make money for this club to get out of debt. A 9.75 million clause. We had to bump him to 40K. He was making like 33 grand with Bayern, so it's not like that big of a raise for him. He wanted an important player contract. Fair that he was on like a 6 points whatever last season, 6.64. But he's learning German. He's got to fit in. Is he learning German? He probably already knew German, didn't he? Yep, he's fluent in German. Ignore it. He's learning German. It's a tad bit of a gamble, I think, but he's 22. He's 22. If we can get him good, I think that could be a bargain. Like, we could sell him for 30 million potentially in the future. At least that's my thinking. And also, if we're going to be playing in a gegenpressing style, which right now, that's what we've been training on, because I can't get anything else to work. I don't think we still have the quality to play control. We still will try to play control from time to time. Don't hear me wrong. But I think we sign players with good aggression, physicality, and press these teams and try and get some wins or draws that would have been losses, because we're not just sitting back. I think sitting back, we're going to get chewed up and spit out by the top 6 of the Bundesliga. So we might as well go for it. And Joshua plays an important part in that. Maybe? Now, those of you that are good at math are going like, wait a minute, you spent 9.75 million there. You spent a little, like 1.7 on David, and you still have 16 million in the bank. What happened? All right, let's go through the outs here. Sergio Guardiola out for 1.9 million, 1.85 million. but if he gets 20 games and some goals, then it goes up to 2.1. It was worth it just to get rid of him, to be honest with you. I mean, you talk about a stinker of a season. Now, he's only 0.14 on his average rating below Xerxes, so maybe I'm the fool. And he did get the all-important cup goal. He's not going to get any better. He's 32. Joshua is 22. So sell while you can to a club that's getting promoted. And like, even though we technically have lost 250 grand, it freed up 27 grand in wages to go do something else, which is what we did. He joins Marius here, who went for 3 million, also to Heidenheim. We've already talked about that. No need to go into it further. Now, my friends, this is where it gets interesting. Remember how I said we needed a right back? Well, you've sold your theoretical best right back. Again, 31 years old, not going to get any better. He also, his contract was up in a year, and he wanted a better contract, which means he wanted a lot of money. He was on, I can't remember what he was on, doesn't matter. We sold him for 1.7 million, so we actually have made a profit on a player, 650 grand. We made $1 million, million euros. What do you call it? What's the shorthand for euros? Like dollars is bucks. We had $1 million. Can I say that with euros? Let me know in the comments. But we made a profit on him. He was a 6.6 last season. He's not going to get any better. I think it's fine. Not great, but it's fine. We'll see, I guess, if we never find another right back. We've also sold Florian Flick for 2 million, rising to 3 million to Dynamo Dresden. Kind of the same problem. We did offer him a contract just so we could sell him. I just think he's a hodgepodge. And he wasn't going to get the game time, at least not with us, that he deserved. The scout reports said that, okay, of course, now that he's left, we've forgotten everything about this player that used to be on our team. We have no idea what he's like. Said he was like a 3-Liga prospect. Obviously, he's got 4-star potential, and we knew that, but he's 23. Like, is he really going to get to that potential? I would have had him be the backup ball-winning midfielder with his 15 aggression, but his tackling and marking are not great. I just don't think he's that good of a player. In our system, Florian, I'm sure you're watching this. I appreciate you as a human being, but we got 2 million for him. I think that's part of having a good academy, is profiting off of that. So it could rise to 3 million if he gets, like, I don't know, 50 games or something like that, but he's gone. We also cashed in on Pablo Ruiz for 1.5 million. He's off to FC Twente. In the Eredivisie, are they still there? Yes, they didn't get relegated or anything like that. This, I think, is probably the best business we've done thus far in the save, right? We pick a guy up on a free, we use him for, what was that? And I love that it's listed as a trial, and this is the free. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is so broken in FM. He gets 4 starts, 12 subs on a 6-9-1 in the Zweite Bundesliga. We get promoted. We loan him back to the Zweite Bundesliga for actually profit. It was like 200 grand because remember, they weren't paying his full wages. We make about 200 grand in profit on him, plus they paid for his wages, and then we flip him for 1.5 million. That's 1.7 million for essentially a guy that you use for 16 games. I think that's solid, and we are only paying him like 5.5 a week. So, like, would I like to have gotten 2 or 3 million for him? Yeah, sure, but like, he wasn't going to get that much better. He's not Bundesliga quality. We cashed in. We sold Amin Harit to CSKA Moscow. Wait for it. For 2.2 million, rising to like 2.8 maybe, or 3.1. I guess I could hover over it. 2.5. For me, this transfer and his contract were like an albatross around our necks. We're trying to sail off into the open seas, and we got this albatross just wrapped around us. His contract included like a ridiculous wage rise every year. He was up to something like 85 or 89 grand a week. This is not an 85 or 89 grand a week player. He's not. I have nothing against the guy. He's not. We loaned him to Wolfsburg, who played him in 18 starts and 7 subs. He gave him a 6.74 with 1 goal and 5 assists. Not worth 89 or 85 grand a week. He just isn't. He just isn't. He didn't do well at Marseille when he was on loan. So it's like his contract was up in a year. What do? Loan him out for nothing? We might as well cash in, and it saved us like, what is 80 something grand a week? It's like, it saved us like 4 million in wages just by getting rid of him, not to mention getting a transfer fee for him. So It's awful business to take a 7.8 million loss, but it's better than adding more pain to it by trying to fit him in this season, him being terrible in contrast. And again, he might have been all right, but then then he leaves on a free, and you've had to spend 4 million just to have him as a player. I just couldn't get behind it. It was time to go. And last but not least here, we have loaned, not sold, City Sane to Hallascher, who are a Zweite Bundesliga team now. Yes, because they just got promoted. On loan, essentially, I believe, for his wages. Yeah, they're short $1,500 a week on wages, but they're making up for it with the monthly fee. I couldn't give him the game time he's deserving, so he's on a squad player contract, out on loan. Hopefully, he can continue to develop there. At the very least, we've got him on contract until 2026. It gets some games into his legs so that he can develop at least a little bit, and then maybe his value goes up and we sell him, or he develops into something we can use. That two determination is really off-putting to me, but that's just me. So that's it, my friends. We've actually sold more than we bought, plus they gave us a big budget, which is a problem, okay? Because, and again, okay, we sold Topaz Kronmuller for 35 grand, rising to 40 grand, but, I didn't feel like we need to go into too much depth on that. They want me to spend the original transfer budget. That's favored, it's not required, which I'm like, I mean, maybe it's just do what you can to guarantee that we stay up, but spend as much of the transfer budget made available at the start of the season as possible. Have you seen our debt? What are you on? Really? So, that's why we're back here with Patrick, whatever his name is. I know it's an absurd amount of money for a guy that probably plays 3 seasons. But I'm like, they want me to spend the money, and I do think he makes us significantly better. That's the thing. It's not like, yes, we are the Spanish retirement home. That's what everyone said about Sergio Guardiola. But look at those mentals. I'm failing to see how this would be a bad deal. Now, we are not the only game in town, which is obviously making me a tad nervous. So Standard Liège is come in with an offer. They've accepted our offer, so we don't have to worry that they offered a little bit more. But we've made him a star player contract offer. Do I want to, let's see, what's the easiest way to get to the contract without making him think that I'm going to change it? I guess there's no way around it. 41.5 grand a week. That's the important thing. So can they offer more? Maybe. And yes, we've signed Joe Scally. We'll talk about it. But while we're on the topic, I have gone out and Atalanta is listing this player for 250 grand. And theoretically, he wants up to 8 grand in wages, which, if that potential ability is true, would be a steal. It just wouldn't give us that, absolute solid right back. This is another development player. So I'm like, the reason I'm going after this is, one, I think it'd be a good deal. I think it's worth, you pick a guy up for 250, you could make it part of his contract that you loan him or that he plays, and then you sell him for $1 million or $2 million or $3 million next season or something like that. So, it was kind of we got money to burn, which sounds weird to say if you're Schalke, but we got money to burn, apparently. And if we've missed on so many players that I'm not even thinking we're going to get this guy. But I do want to hear from you. Is it a bad deal if we offer him 41.5 grand a week to spend 11.5 million? I think the sign-on bonus is something like 2 million. So call it 14. Is it bad to spend 14 million over 3 seasons, right? So what is that? A little less than 4 million, 3.75, something like that, a year, to get a mentality monster like that is also versatile. If you take a look up there, you can play all over the back line and DM and right wing back and in a bind midfield. Is that terrible? It feels terrible, but I'm like, I've tried to go after the 3 million players and no one is coming. They're all picking someplace else, and I'm sure he'll go to Standard Liège, and it won't matter what you and I think. Let's talk about Joe Scally, who paid 1.5 million, rising to 2.5 million. The beauty of this deal is we get him on loan for the entire year at 1,800 a week. And then we've offered him a contract. Of course, I can't see the contract. We've offered him a contract with more than that. So it's we get to put all of this off until next season. I love that. That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Gladbach, for financing his, extra contract wages here and not making us do the transfer now. That may be a transfer bug, because I totally was expecting it to be oh, you're just buying him, so the loan ends and you are now the owner of the player. But it appears that that is not the case, and that the loan is going to go through the end of next season, and then the transfer goes through. That seems off to me, but I'm not complaining because it saves us on wages until then. So, yay. So this is how our squad looks right now. Ortega in between the sticks. Joe Scally and a rotation option with Mehmet Can Aydin. Abner Alou is also theoretically now our best right back. He's just tried to turn in his transfer request, and I have said no because he wanted to go to Hertha Berlin. Thank you, Kate. For like $6 million. I was like, dude, no. Now, if we get a good right back in, I don't mind to loan him out. We're not going to sell him for that unless he just throws an absolute fit. And really, he's more of a center back anyway. And I know some of the players I showed you we missed on were also center backs, but I was just like trying to anything we can add to the back line because Steve Cook is getting up there. So Joe Scally and somebody else rotating with him right now. I want to give Joe the opportunity to develop because I think he could be like a really, like, can you imagine if he gets that 4.5 star potential? Now, it's not going to happen this season though. Like, that's the thing. We gotta ease him into it. You're noticing lots of really bad ratings because we got absolutely curb stomped in the Super Cup because, my friends, yes, we've brought him back, Victor Palson. He's also an emergency right back, if I can be completely honest with you. He got sent off in the 10th minute with a straight red against Bayern Munich, and we got stomped. The score literally was like 8-1. Like, embarrassing. 8-1. They run roughshod over us. It was crazy. We have Malik now. We have David Hanko, who can play left center back or left back. Nikolai is in at left back for the upcoming, now actual league game against Bayern Munich. Xavi Simons subbing in for Victor. Zalazar. Geldhart Rotundo in for Metza, who has a knock. He's got a pulled groin, so he's intentionally missing the Bayern Munich game. Ali out on the left wing. Joshua Zirkzee up top. So I think when you look at the team, okay, really, you could rotate these guys around here if you really felt up to it. Or Thomas could start at left back. I'm feeling pretty good about these three spots in our back line. It's right back is the absolute problem. Xavi is really good and really needs to start taking minutes from Victor, who's now on a regular starter, not an important player contract. We'll probably downgrade him to a squad player at some point. Zalazar's good. We got Joe, Rotundo, Ali, Zirkzee. I'm happy with all of those players. Now, Rotundo obviously is the rotation option. We've had to turn down many an offer for him, but like, this is kind of the year, I think. That breakthrough aspect of being a breakthrough prospect starts really today because we're taking on Bayern Munich. Podlek is our backup goalkeeper. We are rolling out with the Youth Academy product. He started in the DFB Pokal first round game, which I didn't show you because it was some lower league team that we won. He only did a 6.7, but it didn't matter because we won. Mehmet Can Aydin, Karim, Steve Cook is going to rotate. He's worried about his minutes because all the signings on the back line. Can Bozdogan, if we can't find a home for him, we're probably going to extend his contract and keep him around. He's on $850 a week. That's a bargain. Juan Ignacio Cabrera started he subbed on in the first round of the DFB Pokal. He's actually got a chance to be as good as Evan Rotundo. So right now, I'm trying to like play him to get some loan interest up, and also because we have a bunch of injuries. Thomas, as we mentioned, Nassim here, I could take or leave, but he could also play the ball-winning midfielder. But again, his tackling and marking are quite poor. But we've got an opportunity to kind of play him in. And again, if we're trying to use academy prospects, Nassim is an option. Marvin is our backup striker. Metza currently injured. Oliver, back off injury, fractures his lower leg. Are you serious, man? Like, are you serious? Damaged cruciate ligaments, comes back, and like 11 days ago, before the season even starts, fractures his leg. You cannot make this up. So like, no one's going to want to buy him. His contract's up at the end of the season. I do think in some instances, if we're playing control 4-2-3-1 with a left winger instead of a left inside forward, he could do a job because he still has the free kicks, the crossing. But again, like, he's 33. He's definitely, it says regular starter. I need to downgrade that pretty aggressively. Let's see how unhappy this makes him. We're going to make that impact sub. He doesn't mind whatsoever. And then we got Eric Landfer here. I guess you can't even see the names. Eric Landfer and Leo Weikert, who, again, we're trying to play into loans. Milton Yilmaz, started in the first round of the DFB Pokal. He is the youngest player in Schalke history at 16 years and 307 days. I can't remember if that's in the game or ever. And Topol Korivits, who I'll show you here in a second, is the youngest goal scorer for both Schalke and in DFB Pokal history at 16 years and 309 days. Not bad. 6'4" target forward. He put one in, I think, off of a set piece. The last thing I'm going to leave you here with, my friends, is the very painful experiences we've had to start the season. Now, first off, Summer Loan Payment League, Juve, you'll notice, -7 goal difference here. They got stomped by Arsenal, 7-0. It was ugly, to say the least. Bayern Munich, we had nothing. I mean, again, 9th minute, we have a sending off, and they just, like, look at that. Goretzka with a goal. Mbappe, with a hat trick. Musala with a goal. Lewandowski with a hat trick. It was just like, stop, they're already dead. Like, that meme, like, it was just, what are we going to do? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? 10 men against Bayern Munich that has Lewandowski, Goretzka, and Mbappe? Like, get out of town, right? And so, it is what it is. Then we had a friendly. And the only reason I accepted that friendly with Ajax is they paid 450 grand for it. And I was like, sure, that sounds good. Because I knew, at that point, I think we knew what the first round draw was. Or I was thinking it would be a weaker team. It was worth the risk. I was actually quite pleased, to be honest with you. We started Mehmet Can Aydin on an 8.4. Abner played the left center back, even though he's right-footed, on a 7.5. Kareem, who hadn't really played all preseason because of like a knock, was on a 9.5. Yilmaz played the ball-winning midfielder, the youngest player in Schalke history, 6.9. Chan Bazdagan played the 10 at a 7.3. Evan Rotundo, disappointingly enough, played inside forward on the right, and then we moved into the 10 on a 6.5. But, like, this is all very good, right? We score, again, this club, this poor club, VfL Oldenburg, is a, who knows, semi-professional Oberliga Niedersachsen, sorry. Yeah, easy for me to say. Club. We visited them, so hopefully it was a boost to their ticket sales and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, Nassim scored a goal, Marvin scored in the 11th minute, 4 minutes later. I got a penalty in the 27th minute, and then honestly it was kind of like, like we didn't do a whole lot until Marcin Toporkivets, easy for me to say, Marcin is what we're going to call him, scored in the 80th minute, again, 16 years, 309 days old on a 7.7. Not bad, my friends. I'm not going to bring you back for Bayern Munich because that's not fun. I don't know. I think we might bring you back. No, we'll probably bring it back for like Leipzig and any other transfer news. And then the episode after that will be Dortmund. And the episode after that will be the DFB Pokal second round. Now, I need you to give me some grace because I am actually going to be, as the time this video comes out, I'm already out of town. And I will be for a couple days. So there'll be nothing coming out on the channel because I have been sick with a sore throat that led to post-nasal drip cough. Delicious. I don't have the thing that everyone's worried about. We're fine. It's just annoying. And because of that and some stuff at work, I haven't been able to rebuild my PC. So my goal is to come back early next week, rebuild the PC, reload everything and all that. We'll see. I may flip that around and like try and get some episodes recorded for you early next week and then do that as we head into the actual Christmas holiday. But that's what's going on, my friends. What do you think about the right back situation, and should we sign if we have the opportunity to? Because that's honestly, like, I don't even know if this guy is going to be interested in us. Is it worth it? My gut right now is we go for it. But I also understand that, like, he's really a right back. I mean, a right center back, not a right back. But resolute could essentially be the next Steve Cook is also my thinking, right? In terms of teamwork 17, leadership 13, really, really good mentals. Look at that aggression. Like, goodness, man, he could play like a ball-winning midfielder. What are your thoughts there? Hit that like button. Hope you're well with all the craziness in the world. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.